Hello everyone, welcome back to Let It Cook cooking channel. Today's something simple. A potato salad. We need new potatoes, which I've already cooked. A bit of salted water with some caraway seeds, vinegar, beef broth, neutral oil, pepper, salt and onion, caraway seeds, a bit of nutmeg, medium spicy mustard, parsley and half a cucumber. I make potato salad by marinating the potatoes while they're still hot, as you may have seen in another video. That's extremely important, so we get a nice consistency. First, I peel the onion for this, a regular household onion. Of course, you can also use a shallot, that works well too. And what's really important when you're preparing the potato salad, some people really like to add raw onion to the potato salad. I strongly advise against that because if the raw onion sits in there for a while, the whole potato salad takes on the flavor of the raw onion. And that just tastes very, very strong and unpleasant. Just cut the onion in half here, lay it down flat so it can't roll away, and now just slice it down like this. I still like to make a cut here like this so I get nicer cubes, or sometimes twice depending on the thickness of the onion. Now just slice here. The last bit is discarded as it's always woody. Part of the base is still attached, which doesn't taste good. I'll heat up the pot. Break. Don't waste too much. Now we can pour a splash of oil into the pot and back. Add the onions now. Even if it's not hot yet, that's fine. We just want to saute them a little. Now I can already start slicing the potatoes. They're still hot, and that's actually really important. I just cooked them and peeled them while they were still hot. You shouldn't use cold potatoes because this broth or soup that we're cooking back there needs to go into a hot potato. It soaks in much better. And now we're going to take the potatoes and cut them like this, just like this. More or less even slices. It's not really that important. I actually like it when there's some thinner and some thicker ones. And if it's not perfectly precise, it looks a bit more homemade. You can already hear the onions in the background. They're already sauteing nicely. Okay. That's it. My trick with potato salad is that I cook all these things together. Why do I do that? The vinegar always tastes up front and is quite intense. If you cook it briefly with everything, it adds a mild flavor and great taste to your salad. And that's what we want to achieve. I used a mostly waxy potato, but you can use a waxy one too. I just wouldn't recommend using a floury potato because they fall apart very quickly. And then you'll end up with more of a seasoned mashed potato than an actual potato salad. The hotter the potato still is, the better it is. They're still hot down here. I can feel it on my fingers. Of course, you can also just cut them on a board if your fingers aren't so sensitive to heat. Yeah, if not, then let's do it quickly. Now we add a bit of spicy mustard to the onions, put it right in here to saute together. The mustard is there so that the oil can combine with the vinegar and the broth. That will emulsify it, otherwise the oil would separate and float on top, making the potato salad oily. We want a creamy sauce, and mustard works well for that too. Add it as soon as you start frying. I like to add a pinch of nutmeg, but you can skip it if you don't like it. It pairs well with potatoes. Not too much, because otherwise it will overpower the taste. We can add a pinch of salt now. and a pinch of pepper. Then add the broth. And right away the neutral oil as well. I used a neutral oil here. Let me give you a tip. Don't use organic sunflower oil or anything like that. Most of the time, organic canola oils and organic sunflower oils have a very, very strong flavor of their own. And that comes through in the taste. You can also use it, for example, olive oil isn't really suitable for this either because it gives a strong flavor afterwards. So I like to use a somewhat cheaper oil for that because the flavor is very, very mild. And then you can really taste the potatoes nicely. Now just add the oil here, even if it seems odd. Stir it in. And that's exactly it. Now you can already see quite well. There's an emulsion forming here, and the oil can now be stirred in. And we need to bring this mixture to a boil now so it can combine nicely. Next, pour it boiling over the potatoes and let them soak. In the meantime, I can prepare the cucumber and the parsley. I have here a parsley, a flat leaf parsley with very fine stems. You don't need to strip them off, pluck them. Yeah, you can leave a bit of the stems on. That's no problem at all. With parsley, I always like to do it so that I roll it up together. Here is a bundle. And then first I cut it down sharply with the knife. Just slice it down into strips here, because then you don't have to chop so much later. You can already see it's getting pretty fine here. Well, that takes a bit of practice. Of course, I do it a bit faster, but you can do it a bit slower if you want. But that's also one of those things. You'll get better with practice the more often you do it, and then you'll get faster too. And now you just need to chop over the pile a few more times. What I'm really not a big fan of is when you chop parsley into mush, yeah? And now you just nicely sprinkle the chopped parsley over the potatoes. One more tip, I'm using the potato salad today. If you want to bring this along for the next day, then leave out the parsley and add it fresh the next day because the vinegar makes the parsley a bit gray. Yes, and of course we want to avoid that. That's why only at the very end, if you're using it the same day, it's no problem at all. Now we'll do the cucumber. I like to sprinkle a little salt on cucumber to draw out some water. Otherwise my potato salad marinade gets too watery. Yes, I've already washed it very well. And what I like to do here is leave a bit of the peel on in between. Yes, that's for visual reasons. Slicing them just makes them look better in the end. Okay, and then I cut these in half. Now I just slice them like this. There's a bit of parsley on the bottom now too, but that doesn't matter at all because we're going to mix everything together anyway. So you don't have to worry about that. Now I'm putting the pieces into a separate bowl. And I just add a little bit of salt so they can absorb it. Not too much, just a little. Give it a quick toss here. And set it aside, then add it at the end later. Now you can already see pretty well what I meant here. Now it has come to a boil, and you can see there's really no oil visible on top anymore. It's wonderfully combined. I'll add a small splash of broth as well. Let it come to a boil again. Now this probably seems like a lot to you. Yes, when I pour it over in a moment, it looks like it's way too much. That's why potato salad always needs at least 3, 4, or 5 hours to soak after the marinade is poured over it. And of course, it's best if you let it sit overnight. That would be the very best. Okay, now the whole thing is starting to boil here. And now we pour it boiling hot as it is right over the potato salad. You can see it's really a large amount. Good, get everything out, don't waste anything. And now, one more little trick. Now we put some plastic wrap over it. Or if you have a lid for your bowl or something similar, what does the lid do now? You can really see how it's steaming now, and that's exactly what we want. We want it to steam nicely in the bowl now so that the potatoes get steamed in the sauce. As you can see, this plastic wrap fogs up immediately. And that's what we want to achieve. Okay, now seal it up nicely. And now it's best not to put it in the fridge, but to leave it somewhere at room temperature, like in the kitchen, about 4 to 5 hours. And every now and then, if you want to stir it, don't use a spoon. Just take the bowl and give it a little swirl like this. This helps prevent breaking the potato slices, making the salad look better. I'll set this aside for now, and we'll meet again after it's soaked in. I'll show you now. It's been sitting covered in plastic wrap for 2 hours. Now I'll mix it, and I can already add the cucumbers. Wow, it already smells wonderful. I can already add the cucumbers. For that, we'll use these cucumbers here. And now you see they've released a lot of water. And that's why I do this, so that the moisture that's in here now doesn't water down our potato salad. I now squeeze them in my hand to remove all the water, then add them immediately. And you see, yes, that's really a good amount of cucumber. It has a lot of water, almost exclusively. But we don't want all of that in our salad. And now, as I said before, you can either gently fold it in with something, or you just take the bowl like this and toss it around a bit. Yeah, good. You can see now it's still very, very moist, yeah? But this sauce you see here will be absorbed by the salad later. You just have to wait a little bit longer. Mix it all together once. Wow, and now put another layer of plastic wrap over it and let it sit for a bit longer, and then it will be wonderful. All right, guys, the potato salad has now definitely marinated for about 8 or 9 hours. It sat over there all day, and I promise you, I didn't add anything to it. All the liquid we had before, do you see that? There's no liquid left. The potatoes absorbed everything, yes. A little tip, if you see some oil on top now, like a bit of oil floating on the surface, yes, then add a splash of really boiling hot water, give it another stir. Because we don't want, yeah, not at all, we don't want a greasy potato salad, right? And I'll show you the consistency again now. I've already stirred it a few times, and now. The difference between my potato salad and others is that here we have a creamy, smooth sauce around the potatoes. Yes, so we don't just have vinegar and oil that you can see, but it's like it's pickled, like it's marinated. If you bring this potato salad to a barbecue or party, people will say, wow, what is that? Why does it taste so smooth? And like this, just give it a try. I'll prepare a small bowl for us now. Just put a little bit in. Like I said, radishes, cucumbers, whatever you want. So another spoonful. Oh yeah, one more little tip. Potato salad always absorbs flavors a lot, so you need to add more salt, and you should taste it again the next day. Usually, if you use it the next day, it needs another good handful of salt. Potatoes, as you may know from making gratin, absorb lots of flavor. So always taste it well, otherwise it might be a bit too bland. Yeah, let's add a little green sprig to it. One more, and then we can already give it a try. My dears, delicious. Pair it with baked fish or schnitzel. A dream. Enjoy your meal, dears, if you liked it. As always, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a nice comment. That really helps us a lot. You want to keep getting videos, right? Please share us on social networks to help us grow, and you'll get more videos from us. That'll make you happy too. So, dear friends, see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. See you.